welcome to another live stream watch-along reaction. Tonight we're watching and reacting to Al-Hilal SFC versus Isiah Pachuca 2025 FIFA Club World Cup Group H. Live stream watch-along reaction. Oh. Well, hold on. Put 2025 in there, hold on. Must have missed that. There we go. Boom. All right, there we go. We're here. Al-Hilal SFC contra Isiah Pachuca. Mundial de Clubes de la FIFA. Grupo H. They're playing in Nashville. Pachuca wearing their navy blue jerseys again. They cannot advance. Pachuca cannot advance. This is for pride. Al-Hilal can advance. Of course, Real Madrid probably going to top the group, but we're going to see how that plays out. Starting 11s are as follows for Al-Hilal. We have Yassine Bono in goal. The back four of Henan Lodi, Kalidou Koulibaly. We have Hassan Al-Tambakti, João Cancelo, Ruben Neves. We have Salim Nasser Al-Dusri, Milinkovic Savic, Malcolm. We have Marcos Leonardo and Salim Al-Dusri. Rayados, equipo de la CONCACAF avanzar, y Miami. Bueno, torneo de los Rayados. Tu rival. Sí. Al-Hilal starting 11. We have Yassine Bono, Lodi, Koulibaly, Al-Tambakti, Cancelo, Neves, Al-Dusri, Milinkovic Savic, Salim Al-Dusri, Marcos Leonardo, Malcolm for Al-Hilal. Of course, Al-Hilal will advance. Well, if they win. But Pachuca cannot advance at all. That is one thing we know. We have Rayado in goal, Federico Pereira, Eduardo Bowerman, Sergio Barreto, Alonso Aceves, Agustin Palavecino, Elias Montiel, Kennedy, Salman Rondon, Alexi Dominguez. Rayado, Pereira, Bowerman, Barreto, Aceves, Palavecino, Montiel, Sanchez, Figueroa, Dominguez, Rondon, Kennedy. Well, y'all won the CONCACAF Champions Cup way too early for this. Sadly. Monterrey got in by winning 21. Oh, yeah, they got in winning the year after you did. Or, well, less than a year, because they won in October. Y'all won in December, but at least it wasn't like half a year. That would have sucked. Yeah. There's Monterrey, Seattle, LAFC, Leon spot, Pachuca. Yeah, no. Y'all missed out just by this much. Well, yeah, that's true. You did just miss out by a nose hair. Saliba to Anderlecht, there we land. I'm happy for him. He deserves it. But I understand Monterrey are the rivals of Tigres. I understand it. But when it comes to some like a Club World Cup, you should be proud of them advancing. I don't know if you want to admit it, but like you should be happy for your country. Happy for your confederation that there are teams that can advance in this type of version of the Club World Cup. I mean, yeah, Tigres made the final in 2020, but that was a very small version of that. Pachuca did the similar thing last year, and look at what happened to them. It's different, is my point. But It wouldn't shock me if they do it. I don't know if I'm okay with it. I think every 4 years is good. I think making it every 2 years is a true cash grab. And the problem with that is these players won't get any breaks. Now you could say, and we're off. We're off. They've kicked off. I'm not sure. So Montreal going to Barca the money and sign flops. Yeah, of course they are. Acting like that's a shock. How we doing, Rory? How we doing? 0-0, settle. Real Madrid versus Salzburg has started as we speak as well. Real Madrid is top of the table in Group H with 5 points. If they draw or win, they will still be top of the group. Al-Hilal, if they win, they'll be on 5 points. So, and Madrid beat them, so they would be second. But they drew Salzburg, so maybe that's just goal differential. Either way, as of now, Real Madrid, if they win the group, they'll have 7 points. They'll be top of the group. If they draw, they will be top of the group, and Al-Hilal would be under them because of the head-to-head. But the question is where Salzburg sit. So right now, it is Real Madrid, Salzburg advancing. Real Madrid and Red Bull Salzburg advancing. Cross cleared out. It's very possible, very, very possible that we have no Asian teams left in this tournament. Al-Hilal is the last chance to get to the round of 16 out of the Asian teams. And if they don't, there will only be 3 confederations in the round of 16. UEFA, CONMEBOL, and CONCACAF. I mean, nobody's surprised about CONMEBOL being there, but I told y'all people underrate CONCACAF very heavily. I've been saying it for years. There's too much disrespect on CONCACAF. And guess what? 2 CONCACAF teams in the round of 16. Now, that's what I had predicted at the very beginning. I had Pachuca and Monterrey. I did not have Miami, but in the end, we still got 2. Pachuca very much disappointed me. I mean, technically that's true. It's just the Brazilian league, but technically that's true. It's not just CONMEBOL, it's just the Brazilian league. But Jimmy Lozano might just be a fraud. Either way. Yeah, at least MLS got a team out of there. But then again, if Miami wasn't a thing, people could have just said Liga MX instead of CONCACAF. So I'm glad Miami got out of the group stage. I didn't think Seattle did that badly, even though they had the group of death. They were screwed, but they fought. They fought. It's not like they were totally, absolutely Auckland did. Playing forward, Pachuca, good clearance. Good defense by Pachuca, but let's see if they can play for some pride. But turns out Jimmy Lozano's just vibes and memes. That's what I've learned. Thank you. Jimmy Lozano is vibes and memes. He's not even that good of a coach. I thought he got jobbed when they fired him after the Copa America, Mexico. No, they didn't. I'm not saying Vasco's any better. I'm not. But at least Vasco won them a trophy. Well, Jimmy did too. It depends on how much you care about the Gold Cup. I think the Gold Cup matters. I've always thought this. I've always thought the Gold Cup matters. I've always thought the Gold Cup is worth a damn. I've always thought the Gold Cup should be respected more than it is when it comes to the roster decisions and the teams that some teams send. I think the Gold Cup is being very much hand-waved away, especially now that the Nations League is a thing. And I don't like that. The Gold Cup is a true tournament. The Nations League is what it is. I mean, it just is what it is. Like, yeah, it's a tournament. It's a trophy. But in both cases, in both the UEFA and CONCACAF case, but when it comes to UEFA, like nobody's saying, oh, the Euros don't mean shit anymore. They don't say that. It's still the Euros. Like, it's still the Euros. The Euros is still the thing that matters in UEFA. Like, it's cool to win the Nations League. Well, unless you're a Cristiano fan. Well, Cristiano won the Euros as well. Goal for Al-Hilal. That might have been offside. Milinkovic-Savic put it to the back of the net. Montiel got bodied by... Yeah, that's the foul. That's not going to stand. It shouldn't stand. It shouldn't stand. It's still 0-0 on the scoreboard. He fouled Montiel. No goal. 0-0. All right. No goal. But, I mean, they're playing for pride. Al-Hilal is playing to advance. So, I mean, why are we surprised? So, my question is, why are we surprised? Playing forward. Six minutes in. Playing in Nashville is this game. Real Madrid's playing in Philadelphia. And the group stages will be over of both the tournaments. When we're done today, the group stages will be finished. Real Madrid has 5 points. Red Bull Salzburg has 5 points. Al-Hilal has to win to have a chance to advance. If Madrid wins, Al-Hilal is second place. If Madrid draws, then it depends on tiebreakers. The tiebreaker with Madrid has, with over Al-Hilal, Madrid drew them actually, my bad. No, Al-Hilal has drawn 2 teams. Yeah, the win was Pachuca. What was I looking at? Either way. Wrong game. Al-Hilal. So basically, same situation as the Miami group. Yeah, I think it was Miami's group. So, if they all end up on 5 points, it depends on goal differential. So if Real Madrid draws Salzburg, Al-Hilal, the good news for them is they have to win to get to 5 points. They have 0 goal differential. They're going to get over +1. So the question is, Al-Hilal has to win. Madrid, if they win, they top the group. Al-Hilal second. If it's a draw between Madrid and Salzburg, Salzburg's the one in danger. Because to win for Al-Hilal, they need a goal. Shot. I didn't realize you were Danny Ricciardo. Had to. Oh, look, it's Daniel Ricciardo. I know it's a Men at Work song, I know, but Daniel Ricciardo's from Australia, so that was either way. Had to. Eighth minute. Yeah, I understand that feeling. Who knows? Maybe you just got to put on my damn 365 playlist on Spotify if I can't figure out anything else to put on there. Because, yes, I have a daily playlist. Because for the last 3 years, 2.5, I've done a daily playlist that I put a new song on every day on Spotify. Normally at midnight, but so it's more like the vibes of the previous day that is that day's song. But either way. And that's how I make my top 50 songs list at the end of the year now. Is it on the list by like mid-October? Good. It has a chance to be on the top 50. So if I put a Christmas song on there in July, mind your business. Well, Christmas in July, but either way, if I put a Christmas song on that 365 playlist in mid-July, it's so I can put it on because I love the song. I love the meaning of it. I love how I feel when I hear it. I love the connection that I have with the song. So yeah, no, mind your business. Favorite WWE theme? I mean, isn't it pretty obvious? The time is now. John Cena, of course. Of course it is. I love Sami Zayn's theme song. Also a fan of Sami Zayn, but I love Sami Zayn's face theme song. That Def Rebel theme song pissed me off. And I think it pissed me off more. Like, I was glad they kept the start of Worlds Apart a little bit. And then the longer it went, the more I was pissed off. I was like, I kept forgetting that they changed his theme. And I'm like, oh, right. They go to that stupid production track or whatever. I was like, oh, Jesus, man. Never change it again. Unless you're going to use Olay by the Bouncing Souls. Never change Sammy's theme again. All right? Yeah. Corner for Al-Hilal. But I love Sammy's. I love John Cena's theme song. Cult of Personality is a good song. But I'm going to guess the two CONCACAF champions. And I'd say, it might as well be the champions and the runners-up. Unless they're the same country. For me, if it's every 2 years, I say the CONCACAF champions of those 2 years. And then you do a playoff between, well, it depends. But say there's one Mexican team and one American team. All right, or one Canadian team, which, well, that's actually good for MLS if that was the case. But let's say that happens. One MLS team, one Liga MX team win each CONCACAF Champions Cup. Then what you could do is take the two best Liga MX champions or the two Campeón de Campeón and have them play each other for one spot and join one of the two as the two Mexican teams. And then you take the two MLS Cup champions, because there's only two, have them play a Super Cup. They get that other spot. So there's two MLS teams, two Mexican teams. That's a situation where that's probably not going to happen. But that's saying if there is one of each. So you don't have to worry about the country protection. But that's a good point. That's a good point. But then what if they win it? Well, that's also a good point. Either way, I personally don't want it to be by the rankings. I either want it to be the CONCACAF Champions Cup winners and the two runners-up make the Club World Cup, or you have playoffs within the leagues to send another team, depending on how many teams from that league got in. So MLS has a playoff between the two Supporter Shield winners. If both the Champions Cup winners are from Mexico, you have MLS having the playoff between the two Shield winners and the two MLS Cup winners over those 2 years, and that's how they qualify them. Or you could just do the two Champions Cup winners and the two runners-up. But I would like to see more qualification playoffs. I could see it. Playing forward, cleared away, 14th minute, 0-0, settle. Honestly, but the problem with that is what if the winner of the Campeones Cup won the Champions Cup? But yeah, I agree with that too. Or the Leagues Cup winner. Or you could send the two Leagues Cup winners. But what about Central America? Or here's what you can do. Take the Leagues Cup winner. Take the Campeones Cup winner, take the Central American Cup winner, and take the Caribbean Cup winner and have them play a Final Four playoff those 2 years and send the winner of that playoff each year. So we can make it fair. So we don't have Alo Alense trying to rat on a team and then somehow FIFA finally finds a reason to kick them out. Sorry, Leon. Still sorry that happened. So Really? Give them to CONCACAF. Give one more to CONCACAF and give one more to CONMEBOL. I agree. Well, shit, how are we going to do that since there's only, well, if it's a 4-year cycle, it's still screwed. So it's only 4 Champions Cups and 1. Either way. I don't know. Toluca es el mejor equipo de la CONCACAF. Well, right now. Ahora. Sí. Sí. I mean, I don't disagree. Playing forward, Rondon, he doesn't get on it. I mean, I don't disagree. Yeah, fair enough. Central America doesn't exist. Small teams. Pure small teams. I mean, they do exist. They're in CONCACAF. They do deserve a fair shot to make this tournament, especially if they make it an every 2-year thing, which is what we were discussing. They deserve a fair shot, but the Champions Cup's a fair shot. But now you're opening up more spots, and there's only 2 Champions Cups, so how do we qualify the other 2 teams that isn't a ranking? That isn't the ranking. I want to see more playoff game, more play-in games. So how do we do this fairly? Leagues Cup winner, mini tournament for both years, Leagues Cup winner of that year, Campeones Cup winner of that year, Central American Cup winner of that year, Caribbean Cup winner. Of course, you play them against the Leagues Cup and Campeones Cup winner. Or what you do is play the Campeones Cup and Leagues Cup winner together and have them face the winner of the Central American Cup Caribbean playoff in the final. Winner goes to the Club World Cup. You do that for those 2 years. They exist, though. They deserve a fair shot. But the Champions Cup's a fair shot. In the current format, yes, but you still got 2 open spots to deal with if they went to it every 2-year format. So, I mean, they would probably lose, but they deserve a fair shot. They deserve a fair shot. No, they don't. They'll just put CONCACAF to shame. If they somehow beat an MLS team or a Mexican team to get into the Club World Cup, I know you play the game for a reason. Well, shit. Let them have their chance. They can't be worse than Auckland. I'll tell you one thing. Alajuelense would have a better chance than Auckland. I legit believe Alajuelense would have a better run at a Club World Cup than Auckland. I believe it. Saprissa would, you know. Now, I mean, the Caribbean team would probably get Auckland. They probably would. I don't think they'd make it. I think the Central American team would beat the Caribbean team. The MLS team or Liga MX team that comes out of the Leagues Cup Campeones playoff should beat the Central American team. Neutral ground. But if they don't, or if you do a 2-legged playoff, if they don't, well, if they don't, I don't think Alajuelense would do worse than Auckland. I think they would do better. Well, it depends the group they get, but I don't see Alajuelense getting 10 scored on them by Bayern or anybody of that ilk. I don't see it. Maybe 6. I don't see 10. I've watched enough Alajuelense. I've watched a lot of their games. This era of Alajuelense, I don't see it. I don't see them taking 10 at a Club World Cup. I don't. I mean, if you think 6 is a shame, well, there you go. But I don't see them taking 10. Well, Real Madrid, you mean win the group? fair, but Real Madrid drawing them would still win the group. Real Madrid beating drawing Salzburg would still have Real Madrid first place. Al-Hilal, they should. If Madrid wins, Al-Hilal, as long as they win, would advance. If there's a draw, if Al-Hilal wins, it probably knocks Salzburg out anyway. Which, I mean, I love seeing Red Bull lose things. Max Verstappen. Alawalense thought they were going to the Club World Cup. 0-0, 20th minute between Al-Hilal and Pachuca. Pachuca is defending well. Al-Hilal looks lost. The only goal they scored was after Savic fouled Montiel, and it got called back, rightfully so. No, they do better than that. 6, maybe. 10, no. Well, in theory, even if we give them a chance, they shouldn't make it. I mean, yeah, you play the games for a reason, but I would think. Have you noticed that it's very rare in the past, 10 years that Central American teams beat MLS and Mexican teams at the Champions Cup? That the only reason we have a couple of the round of 16 now in this new format is because of the buys. And maybe one shitty team gets upset, that being RSL. Okay, no, there is one shitty team that gets upset every year, but if you're going to win the Leagues Cup, you're not that shitty team. Or even Campeones Cup. Hell, I'm surprised LA Galaxy didn't get upset. Either way, by a Central American team. I'm surprised with the way their season's gone. RSL's the shitty team who got upset. But either way, if you're winning the Leagues Cup, or the Campeones Cup, you're not that shitty team. So, whether it's one leg or two, chip, goal! Salamo Dusri with a chip over Pachuca, over. A chip over Sebastian Rayado, and it's 1-0. Al-Hilal, 1-0. Salamo Dusri, who isn't at the Gold Cup, he's here. And seems to me he will stay here. I don't know if they Eustachio'd him anyway. I didn't say a point. I just said they wouldn't lose 10-0. But then again, if Auckland got a point, Alajuelense could, depending on the group they got. So you know what? No. Depends on the group they get, but I could see it. Just slowly chips the keeper, Al-Dusri does, and it's 1-0 Al-Hilal. 22nd minute. 1-0, 1-0 Al-Hilal. Damn good goal. Depending on who. Like, I mean, better than LAFC? I mean, in theory, I don't think they would have lost to Tunis. I think that's really the only... And if they had a lead against Flamengo, would they have held it? I say they would have. So, yes, America would have done better in LAFC because I don't think they would have lost to ES Tunis. And I think they would have held on to the winning goal that LAFC did not. They still would have lost to Chelsea, though. I think the game would have been a bit closer the way it got played, though, considering America is a better team. But as of now, Al-Hilal are ahead of Salzburg on goal differential because they're winning the game. So Salzburg is out as we speak. Real Madrid's on top with 5 points and 2 goal differential. So if Al-Hilal wins this game 2-0 and Real Madrid draws, Al-Hilal, well, no, they'd still be second. But if Al-Hilal wins 3-0, they win the group if the Real Madrid game stays a draw. I mean, that'd be kind of funny. I agree, they did. I didn't say they didn't. You're probably right. I agree. I agree. It does deserve something worth winning. And if there was an opportunity to have that, it should have that. But right now, it's just a midseason MLS versus Liga MX cash grab friendly at the stadium of the team who won the cup. I'm not looking forward to LA Galaxy versus the Campeón de Campeones. Whether it's Toluca or America, I'm not looking forward to it. Because it's going to be horrible. This is going to be horrible. I'm not looking forward to it. Because I'm just not. LA Galaxy is going to get killed by either team. Hell, Toluca might be worse. Beauty. I agree with that. Winner to host the CCL final in their country if they won the Campeones Cup is a little bit far-fetched. I mean, CONCACAF does sanction it, but it's not like the Leagues Cup where I totally believe, here's a chance. Al-Hilal! Oh, off the post! Off the post! 27th minute. Off the post. They know they need goals. Leonardo off the post. They know they need goals at this point. Well, they're the favorites, yeah. But when does the favorite... Like, nobody had Cruz Azul winning the tournament. Nobody thought Cruz Azul was the favorite. It was Miami, LA Galaxy, Columbus, and America. And really, it was just Miami and America. But cross in. Of course, that changed. Galaxy was shit. Miami choked. The final were two teams that one had just lost their coach right before the tournament started. They were a favorite because of the coach. And then once he got, left, people questioned it. Nobody thought the Vancouver Whitecaps would do what they did. Get to the final. So when Columbus made the final, nobody thought that was going to happen. Also, last year, Pachuca was not the favorite like they were the year before. So I'm just saying, let's look at the situation as it is, right? The CONCACAF Champions Cup has favorites. They never really make the final or win the thing. Especially recently, the teams I would have called the favorite going in didn't do it. 2023 or 2024, Pachuca was not the favorite. It was America. It was Miami. It was Monterrey. Pachuca, nobody thought they had a shot in hell. This wasn't the year before. 2023, Pachuca was the favorite. Especially when the draw was made. 2024, on the other hand, people remembering the Monterrey or the Motagua failure and the fact that they had just started building back up after blowing it all up. Almada won it, though. So, again, my point is this. Yeah, there are favorites for the Champions Cup, but recently hasn't gone well for them. 2023, again, Pachuca, they were the favorites in 2023. A Grupo Pachuca team won that trophy. It just wasn't the one we thought. LAFC made the final. I would say that LAFC team was a favorite to make it that far, but guess what? Leon was not, because they were known for bottling the tournament. They got there. Nobody really looked at them like, hey, nobody did. And they won against another favorite. 2022, Seattle Sounders, not a favorite. They were not the same Seattle of old, just like they were right now, but they were not the same Seattle of old. And they got in on a technicality. They won. Pumas were not favorites either. They made a Cinderella run and lost. And Liga MX fans still hate them for it to this day. So, 2021, Monterrey, okay, I'd say they were a favorite. Columbus was a favorite at the time. Didn't even make it to the final. Yeah, I had Toronto going deep. I was biased. Leon was a favorite. They got knocked out by Toronto. Look, Toronto's kids. TFC 2. But they got out of the group stage, so. Yeah. MLS will too. But this ain't 2012. Like 2012, Liga MX didn't give a shit of the CCL. They put out their freaking Cantera. And they still stomped the shit out of MLS teams. This ain't 2012. It's been growing. Since it became a straight knockout tournament, I think it's really been cared about. But yes, I agree that now that the Club World Cup's on the line, a automatic bid, no matter what country you're in. Hell, we could have 4 Mexican countries go through the club or the CONCACAF Champions Cup, just like how the Brasileirão had 4 teams going through the Libertadores. Yeah, but even Liga MX, MLS, they're both going to take it seriously. Cooling break, 1-0 Al-Hilal, 1-0. So I agree, but they're doing good enough to make it. Well, I mean, also now Liga MX, it's all about the points now with those extra spots. Oh, and Leagues Cup. So backfills and points on the table is why. Backfills, Leagues Cup, and points on the table. Or backfills caused by Leagues Cup, points on the table. So that's why you're saying in the tournament. But they did make the 2022 final. I know Mexican fans don't want to remember that or they'll make fun of them. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure America's going to win a CCL sooner rather than later, right? It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. I think it's really just the infrastructure. I think it's the infrastructure for training grounds, stadiums, the money inside the club, especially the clubs. They're working at a disadvantage, and that's the sad part, especially the club teams. If you're playing an MLS team, it's always going to be like, well, we don't have the training ground, we don't have the players, we don't have the money. Like when you're playing each other, yeah, you really don't see it, but I think it's more of an infrastructure problem and a organizational problem. Yeah, the players are raw talent, but if there is any, which I think there is raw talent. But it's hard to, what's the word? Purify is not the right word. Grow that talent. To focus that talent. Yeah, I think that's a better word. Focus that talent. It's still going to be raw. And that's a bad position to be in, probably because of the infrastructure and the small training grounds and the small stadiums, and they're developing, but they aren't truly developing. They just hope they're good enough to get seen by a big club, and then there you go. Same to a certain extent with some of the Central American teams as well. But national teams, and because of that raw talent, they focus on their diasporas, and that's the successful ones. The successful ones. Jamaica focuses on their diaspora. Arguably, the sad part is in CONCACAF, when you talk about the Gold Cup, Jamaica's best results came with a team that didn't have as much diaspora players. But since Suriname and Curacao focus on their diaspora, They got to do more of that to just keep pace. The DR, they're growing. They're growing. I think they're doing a very good job of producing their players. Puerto Rico as well is up there, but I think it's just the lack of infrastructure and the lack of true talent and purifying talent and creating talent and harnessing the talent. It's more of just the simple fact of economy, right? And I mean that just, it is what it is. I don't mean that badly. I'm just saying, cross in. The MLS is a big economy. Mexico, big economy. Central America to a certain extent. Like, it's more, I think that's more of what it is. They need investments from outside. Steak is not Italian. I love steak, but it's not Italian. Pasta, pizza, fish, yeah. They do have some chicken dishes as well. But steak is not Italian. Steak is, well, it's more American, I would say. Like, I love steak, you know. Like, I'll go full Paul Bissonnette and get gout at some point in my life. I'm sure of it. Because I didn't know eating steak and beef got you gout. I did not know that. But it wouldn't shock me if I end up like Paul Bissonnette one of these days and get gout. I gotta research that, but I still don't understand why steak would give you gout or lots of steak. But either way, steak's not Italian. I love steak, but it's not. No. They like chicken and fish more. If you're going to go with a protein, they like chicken and fish more. Which, I mean, I like that too. So, but yeah, pizza, pasta, sausage. I mean, yeah, sausages as well. Like, kielbasa is Polish, but there's sausages pretty popular in Italy as well. I don't think pork overall is, but sausage. Yeah. And I wouldn't say, I think they have their own, but again, they do love using andouille. Andouille sausage, I think, is Spain as well as Cajun. Oh, Cajuns love andouille. And andouille is a good sausage. I'm not saying it ain't, but I ain't no Cajun. I mean, I ain't no Cajun, but andouille is an amazing sausage. I'll agree. But that's awesome. See, that's a good thing. See, that's what they need. That's what the Caribbean needs. I love that. Praise the Lord. Make your way home safe. Praise the Lord. So, Bangladesh has a big Dutch diaspora too. I mean, okay. Like, or are they just saying like, or they have a big diaspora that isn't Dutch, but they're trying to follow the Suriname path. I mean, well, would you? Okay. Ask Jamaica. Oh. More like MLS. I like that too. Not red meat. Okay. "39th minute." Like, yeah, no, it's like if we're saying, yeah, no, Italians are not really, they don't really use red meat a lot. Fish, chicken, yeah. Well, meatballs are, well, yeah, meatballs are more sausage, but Well, you can make pork meatballs. Okay, so pork meatballs, sausage, yeah. Pork sausage, pork meatball. Yeah. Cleared away. I mean, I love steak. Hamburger, steak. I mean, I like chicken as well. And turkey, but I like steak. But I like steak and hamburger. But I don't eat it all the time. Fraud scored. Oh, Vinicius scored. So Real Madrid tops the group. Al-Hilal second with their lead. So Al-Hilal cannot top the group with a 3-goal win. Unless Salzburg gets one back. But I don't think they will. If Pachuca gets one back, what a goal though. That doesn't feel real to me. Vinicius scored. What a goal. Hey, it sounds like a golazo. Bottom right of the net. As far as I know, I'm just looking at FOTMob because I'm watching the Al-Hilal Pachuca game. Al-Hilal looks like the better team. Pachuca, it's like they don't even want to be there, frankly. It's a wonder they've only allowed one. Shot save. Rondon! Nope. Bono covers it before Rondon gets there. Hey, if Rondon was on fire, he might have got there. Either way. I don't think it would happen there. See, here's the thing. I don't think it would happen there because the Club World Cup has to be in the summer. They're not going to play tournaments like this in the summer in Qatar and Saudi. So it'll never happen there. They're not going to stop the leagues just to do a Winter Club World Cup. A actual World Cup, sure, that's countries. But they're not going to stop their own leagues to let FIFA line their pockets. They're not going to do that. They're not. It's impossible. Like the actual World Cup works because that's countries. Like, yeah, they're losing money, but it's countries. It's national team football. There had to be a World Cup. It's national team football. They were fine stopping the calendar for that, but why would clubs that aren't in it, why would they stop the calendar for clubs who are in it to go? Second of all, why would leagues want their leagues to stop for a month and lose money so that some of their teams could play at the Club World Cup? I just don't think it makes as much sense as the actual World Cup did in the winter. And you can't play it in the summer there because it's way too damn hot. You're going to kill these players. Like, you think this is bad? Hell, they think American temperatures are bad. They think American temperatures are hell. Dude, you've never been to Mississippi in August with 100-degree heat with humidity on the Delta. You've never been there. Don't talk about 80-some degree weather, 90-some degree weather when you don't know. In frickin' Cincinnati. When you don't know, don't talk about it. My point being is this. Also, by the way, if you're going to do that, why don't you wear a suit in Mississippi, at the Delta, at the river, 100 degrees, mid-August with humidity? See how you like it. I guarantee you'd be crying. I guarantee you'd be crying. These European players would be crying like a punk if they had to do that. I guarantee you. So you think they'd enjoy it? They'd actually kill these players if they played this summer in Qatar and Saudi. They'd kill these players. So whether they actually did or it was just an ego death the size of, I don't know. Either or, it's actually dangerous. That's actually dangerous. This, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so. But either way, the kicker is ever since Dwight York made it at Man United, you have people accept you have players at a big club that have a fine chance, especially if you've had a foreign coach. Yeah. I mean, I'm not looking forward to anything, so Yeah, but I'm just talking about the situation itself, not exactly the... Now, I would agree with that. I think the Club World Cup is best. You got to be joking. You really? Shit. Well, there's no January window, but it would have to be the midweek at Davis Wade. You got to be joking. I'd say November, especially if you want to have it the afternoon. November, probably. I'd say November. You got to be joking. You got to be. They legit want to have a game in Starkville. You got to be joking. You got to be joking. No way. I mean, when you're doing it for a funeral, I wouldn't say it's trailer trash, but either way. And it's the Delta, not the Bayou. Come on now. Get it right. That was a funeral, but at least I don't have to do that a couple of weeks. The suit part. At least, well, in a couple of weeks, I don't have to do the suit part. I have to buy a polo shirt because I don't have one, but yeah, at least I don't have to do the suit part again. It's mid-July instead of mid-August, so you know, whatever. Probably, but LAFC. 3 minutes left to stoppage time. 1-0 Al-Hilal. I don't know. It's either LAFC or Pachuca. I don't know who I want to say is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I want to lean Pachuca. I really want to lean Pachuca. I was more disappointed by them than LAFC. The Tunis result was bad, but then they drew Flamengo. So it's Pachuca. It's Pachuca. I'm very disappointed. I thought they'd get out of the group. Jimmy Lozano's a fraud. Jimmy Lozano's a fraud. Yep, he tore his ACL. Hate to hear that. Well, Well, but here's the problem with that, though. Edson, well, no. See, he was going to play because he would have replaced Charlie. It was going to be Edson, Marcel, Chavez. Now it's Edson, Charlie, Marcel for the next year. No, I'd start painting my face like the Joker if I was a Mexican fan. I totally would. I totally would. Seconds to go the first half. I totally start be painting my face. Fede Valverde scored for Madrid, 2-0. Yeah, that's why I'm not disappointed in them. Pachuca. I had Pachuca getting out of the group, so that's why it's disappointing to me. And a draw against Flamengo is something, even though if they finish first, it's still something. Free kick for Pachuca, it's still something. And Seattle was in the group of death, so I'm not. And I can't say that Monterrey and Miami suck. They got out of the group. So it's Pachuca. I had more hopes in Pachuca than I did LAFC. I still thought LAFC would finish third. Finishing third and fourth don't mean shit. If I thought you'd get out of the group and you finished fourth, that's disappointing. That's disappointing. But then again, I thought Idrissi would play. Nobody knew he had freaking muscle discomfort until the first game. Nobody knew. He played the damn friendly. Halftime 1-0 for Al-Hilal. Miro tiempo 1-0. Al-Hilal. Al-Hilal's doing their job. Pachuca doesn't even want to be there, seems to me. So. Hey. No disrespect to Davis Wade Stadium. Hey, Davis Wade is a freaking treasure. No disrespect. Don't you dare. I don't know why Mexico would go there, but don't you dare. I mean, it's got 80,000 seats, but don't you dare. Don't you dare. Disrespect Start Vegas. Are you out of your mind? Disrespect Start Vegas. Are you out of your mind? Start Vegas is a beautiful place. Starkville. It's a beautiful place. Hail State. But yeah, Mexico's been abandoning their fan base for American dollars for forever. I mean, have you not noticed it? It's been a freaking decade, if not more. At least feels like it. Shit. At least feels like shit. Practice, because it still could happen there. 2-0 Vinny assist. Valverde goal. I don't think it will change. See, here's the problem with that. Liga MX, again, there's a reason why they put these games in the United States, right? There's a reason. There are more Liga MX fans in the U.S. than MLS fans. And the people who watch both leagues, see, there's also the fact there are people who watch both leagues. But there's still more Liga MX fans who watch that itself more than MLS. But then you have people like me and also Liga MX fans who watch both leagues. So, of course, the numbers are going to be higher for Liga MX. Besides, we know the numbers because they have TV. We don't know the Apple numbers because they ain't said shit. But I guarantee you it's much more disappointing than what they tried to make it out to be. I mean, smart idea, but it went horribly. Well, they do have some TV, but it's only one game a week. But either way, it doesn't surprise me that Liga MX is the more watched league because it makes sense. Who are the people who really love football in this country? Of course. A redneck like me, it's rare. Let's just put it like that. Rare. Right. There ain't many rednecks like me now. But even then. There's a demographic. There is. And they're going to watch Liga MX, where they watch MLS as well or not. There's a demographic. I mean, again, look at Mexico putting the damn games in the U.S. It is what it is. It's numbers. It's numbers. It's numbers, right? Like, we know the demographic that loves football in this country. Of course. Of course. I mean, we know how the FMF treats football, right? True. Well, also the Gold Cup. Come on. That also is true, but again, even if they did that, does that change the numbers of demographics? Does it, though? Does it, though? I mean, I agree. The strict rules should go. But then again, you also have Apple TV. But either way, does that change demographics, though? Like, What random person who doesn't love football becomes a football fan because MLS gets rid of strict rules? See, the problem with MLS in this country is, yeah, there are Messi fans. You're not keeping them. And then the Messi fans who come from Barca and Argentina, you're not keeping them. Or Asia. You're not keeping them. Or not all of them. Maybe 20%. That's a conservative number. You're not keeping them. So it's the demographics are number facts. Even if you get rid of the strict rules, does it help anything? To a certain extent? Like, yeah, but over that, I don't know. Make more people watch than Liga MX? I don't know. I don't know. Exactly. State needs that money too, so if they did it. I mean, yeah, but it would probably be more around the world than just America. In America, I think you've really hit your ceiling. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think in America, you've really hit the ceiling. So I don't know. Honestly, I agree with that. They would all play the same system. Like, we're not going to let them learn a different system just to play a certain system. The system that the head coach of the main national team of both sides plays the same system. Now, of course, the women's team might play a different system than the men's team. Might. Like Canada, Casey Stoney does not press like Jesse Marsh does, but put a lot of money into the local clubs, like for Canada, the League One Canada, put a lot of money into that, put a lot of money into scouting, growing teams, also grassroots academies, make the game free to play. Pay to play's wrong. You make the game free to play. You make the academies free to play. You make pathways open to anybody. Any person who wants to play, any kid who wants to play the game, you open up that pathway. And for their parents not to have to pay all that money to see them have a career in the sport. Because look at Argentina. Look at most countries. They grow players because all they have is football. Their chance is football. But they have the opportunity to play it because you don't pay to play. Get rid of pay to play is a very big line. Also, each age level on each side plays a system of the head coach that coaches that side. So for Canada, every level on the men's side should play Jesse Marsh's system. On the women's side, every team should play Casey Stoney's system. So, for example, but you absolutely heavily invest in the local leagues, especially the local semi-pro leagues and the academies and the scouting that these bigger teams can have. You put a lot of money into that. You have a lot of training camps, a lot of coaching camps. You try to build a group, a web, so to speak, of people who have the knowledge and they spread their knowledge or spread the way to play the game or spread the love for the game. Probably lower the actual national team game tickets, but, there you go. But I agree. Davis Wade is better. I heard about it, but that's nothing. Yeah. I believe that. I could see it. Last game Mexico played in Mexico. USA. Yeah, when they played the USA. Wait, no. Actually, Honduras. Actually, no. The Honduras game, the Nations League. They played that in Mexico. So, no, November. But last game that wasn't a CONCACAF game that they were forced to play in Mexico, the USA friendly. They chose to do that. But the games they were forced to play, the last game they were forced to play in Mexico was the Honduras game. But if you're talking about game that they actually chose to play there, the USA friendly at Akron, yeah. That was the last game. They chose to play there. Forced is a different story. Forced is a different story. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. I think I'm fine with that. Yeah, no. I'm fine with that. Like I'm fine with foreigners, like 7 foreigners, maximum of 7 can only be on the pitch. I'm fine with that rule. So, with that being said, let me finish these and we'll take a break. It's just 6 years old or whatever. I don't think it's that bad. Yeah. Exactly. Nemesio Diaz. I think, yeah, Nemesio Diaz. Nemesio Diaz. Toluca. Yeah, Toluca. Yeah. Yeah. Because the Azteca's still getting renovated. Still? Hold on. 2 minutes till the second half. Let me take a short break. I'll be back. We're back for the stats of the half. You know what? I mean, I'll give my opinion then. I think they're a very good team. They're a very good squad. They have good players. They deserve to be at the World Cup. I mean, yeah, they're players. I respect what they do. They have a good squad. They always have had a good squad. They have a good manager. Yeah, I mean, they deserve to be at the club or actually the World Cup. That's my opinion. It's going to be ironic if they play the USA again, but either way, stats to have 53% possession to 47% possession, 5 shots to 3. We have 194 accurate passes, 82% to 171, 82%, 5 shots to 3, 1 shot on goal to 1, 7 fouls to 6, 2 corners to 1, 5 shots to 3. We have 1 shot on goal to 1, 236 passes to 208, 82% pass accuracy to 82, 2 throws to 9, 1 offside to 2, 1 yellow card to 2, 0 red cards to 2, 1-0 Al-Hilal. Uno a cero medio tiempo. I mean, Al-Hilal has been the better team. Pachuca don't even look like they want to be there. Al-Hilal's doing their job, and now that Madrid's leading, it doesn't really matter how much they score. I mean, you get a couple of goals and see maybe can Salzburg tie it up. But other than that, most likely second place for Al-Hilal. I mean, it's not that I'm judging it. It's the fact that economically, there's definitely problems. There's definitely problems with the league. And the best teams are still having problems as well. I think on the pitch, yeah, I mean, there's still a quality to it, of course. There's still good young players, and there's a quality to it. But I do believe there are problems that have to be dealt with, especially economy-wise, country and for the football league. And we're off. But we'll see. I mean, if we're holding countries to the same standards, I mean, yeah, you're right. It is odd. It is odd. Because, I mean, who's the aggressor, right? Who's the aggressor, right? I mean, Russia, they're the aggressor on Ukraine, right? They're not playing sports. They've been frozen out of everything. Who's the aggressor? I mean, you're right if we're holding countries to the same standard, but like that was ever going to happen. Like that was ever going to happen. So Russia's always been hated. The Soviets have always been hated. Even when Putin, even for a while when Russia wasn't totally a non-starter and not a persona non grata, there were still people who were like, I still don't trust the Russians. And then Russia went full back to the Soviet era of everybody hates them. Again, they've always been hated. But again, yeah, no, if we're holding the same standards, yeah, no, they both should be banned from international competition. Hell, the United States should be too. So I'm not just saying, let's be clear, the United States should also be banned from international competition with all the shit they pulled. As well, if we're holding the same standards, they should be banned too with all the shit they've pulled. Am I wrong? But no, the USA is a very big country, a very rich country. So, rules for thee, not for me, I guess. So, he better. Yeah. But again, I mean, if we're keeping the same energy, yeah, I mean, can Chelsea win the Club World Cup? I mean, they got the easier part of the bracket. All they have to really do is beat Man City and PSG. Well, of course, they have to win their 2 games before that, but I'd say those are easier. Then the difficulty goes higher. But semifinals for sure. I think semifinals are very possible. Question is what happens after that. So 1-0 Al-Hilal. Yeah, because every other Arab Spring nation's in Asia, but Israel's in UEFA. I mean, it is something. It's like Pachuca, they go down the box, no penalty. It is kind of ironic, isn't it? It is kind of ironic. Well, they didn't go to the World Cup because he did all this. '50th minute. Sad they're hosting the tournament. Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I said semifinals are likely. I didn't say. Because they've never done it before. It's just like the frickin' Pachuca thing. Well, okay, my bad. They have done it before, but he thought Russia was untouchable. He didn't think they'd actually do it. I mean, again, he thought Russia was one of the second biggest superpower in the world. And while the USA, I mean, Vietnam, needless war. Iraq, needless war. Everything after World War II shouldn't have happened. And they still got to play international sports and not be persona non grata. So, I mean, do I blame him to a certain extent for not realizing that would happen? I don't blame him. I don't blame him. For not realizing that would happen. Like, I mean, has the world ever, like if we're really, I'm just saying, like, if we're so worried about, oh, a country has attacked a country needlessly, they're the aggressor, let's shun them. So there's been like so many other countries who should have been shunned, right? Over the past, like, over what? The past 80 years or so? I mean, I don't blame him for not realizing it. I mean, he thought the world had no balls. He thought the world had no balls. And that ain't a defense of him. He just thought the world had no balls. Yep. It hurts. I mean, possibly they only play group games, Mexico and Canada. It's possible, but I legitimately believe that all of this bullshit, going to be, well, I don't know. It might flare up again. I don't know. But a war, World War III, nah. Now, of course, Middle Eastern tensions that still get flared up every once in a while, yeah, that's still going to be a thing. But I do believe that, in my opinion, I do believe that it's just going to be that. Like last September or whatever. Was it last September or was it like March? It was March. It felt like longer ago. Either way, regular Middle Eastern tensions that don't turn into World War III, yeah, that's still going to happen. But I don't think. I think It is what it is. But, like, did you, like, when the ceasefire got broken, Trump was actually pissed. And he was pissed, well, I think he actually wants a ceasefire. I don't think any other president would have done it or actually been pissed like he was. I'm just looking at the situation from where I'm looking at it. George Bush would have been like, oh, you don't want to abide to the ceasefire? That's fine. I'm sorry. Trump was like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Okay. I was like, whoa. Hold on. Hold on. He actually wants a ceasefire. Hold on. He actually did want the ceasefire. Okay. Yes, that's why I don't think it's going to be that bad. See, that's why I don't think it's going off the rails, because other presidents, both parties, would never be like that. And I'm talking about both parties here. I'm talking about any president ever wouldn't be like that. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm clapping like Seal. I don't know. 55th minute. I don't think that'll happen. No. I don't think that'll happen because, well, they're not the aggressor, though. They weren't the aggressor of this latest situation. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think that'll happen. Didn't they, like, break the rules with, like, players who weren't eligible or something? Was that what it was? They played players who weren't eligible. Pumas winning a title. Because I don't think World War III is happening. I don't. I want to see it. 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 Gonzalez and Hurtado. I want to see it. Pumas is going to win the title. I don't think we got World War III. Huh. Really? I want Libertadores back. So should we blame Saudi or FIFA? Who should we blame? Who should we blame? I want Libertadores back, or for MLS into Libertadores, but yeah, I'll just say back. Screw it. I want Libertadores back. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. 1-0. 57th minute. '57th minute. ChatGPT doesn't know, and part 2 really is just normal business. Part 2 is really just normal business. With that being said, like, ChatGPT is only trained on what's happened, not what will happen. If you're using ChatGPT as a fortune teller, that's not how it works. I mean, tarot cards. Okay, hold on. Tarot cards are better to tell fortunes than ChatGPT. At least that's the what's the word? Function of tarot cards is to tell futures. I don't know how true they are, but I randomly bought these like years ago. Blame TikTok. I don't think I've touched them in like 2 years or so. Either way. either way. Well, I guess that's revenge, isn't it? I guess that's revenge, isn't it? Leagues Cup for Brazil and Argentina. I agree. Honestly, I'd watch it. Honestly, that's a good idea. And it's not out of the realm of possibility because Dana White's in Trump's orbit. It's not out of the realm of possibility, you know. Did we just come up with something? 59th minute, 60th minute, 1-0. Did we just come up with something or what? You know? Well, I mean, true, but CONCACAF is culturally closer to CONMEBOL than Saudi is to Europe. I'm surprised. But I guess FIFA said no, considering they have the Club World Cup, and they didn't want Cristiano Ronaldo to play at the European Champions League. They wanted Cristiano to come to the Club World Cup. But now that that's impossible because he ain't going to play another 4 years, maybe they'll let it happen. They didn't want Cristiano to play the Champions League. They wanted him to play the Club World Cup. But unless they make it an every 2-year thing, Cristiano ain't playing another 4 years. So maybe they'll change, since that was just FIFA trying to protect their damn new tournament, probably. And the fact they could have had Cristiano and the Champions League couldn't. Now that that's changed, it might change. I don't think it's 100%. Things might change. Things might change. But I think I remember hearing about that. Yeah, I think things might change. I believe it. I want to see Pumas win something. Youth development. Well, for Italy, it's youth development. Their youth development sucks. Like, it does not develop the talent in those youth players well. Brazil, it's the fact they've lost their soul. Brazil, to me, has lost their soul. I believe Brazil as a club or as a country has lost their footballing soul. I do. I mean, they should be Jogo Bonito, and they're not. And they've went further away from it. They hired Carlo Ancelotti. God love him. I think Carlo's a great manager, but he is not a Brazilian manager. He is not Jogo Bonito. And that's how Brazil wins, is playing the way the Brazilians are known to play, not playing like everybody else. Them trying to be like everybody else is what hurts them, what has hurt them. Italy, it's just the youth development sucks. And the greed that goes on in the Italian game, and the federation is very static. And yep, but that's it's getting harder and harder to tell. Yeah. Yeah. But again, as I said, that honestly, I'd buy that pay-per-view. Alan Bautista coming on for Pachuca for Kennedy. Still 1-0. Yeah, exactly. No, I think they were trying to protect their tournament. Like, protect the possibility of their tournament being very watched. Guess what? Cristiano didn't even come here. I think that's also what that 10-day window was for. I don't think it was just, see, I'm not even sure we'll ever see the 10-day window before a Club World Cup again. I'm not sure we'll ever see that again. I think it was an absolute setup to try to get Cristiano to play at this tournament. Even though other teams did use it, the main effect of it was to get Cristiano to play at this tournament. And he didn't. Once Al-Nassr didn't make it, they used the 10-day window to try to get him to play. Guess what? He ain't here. I guarantee you that if Messi retires and Cristiano ain't playing, if they both retire, they ain't going to bring back that 10-day window for this tournament. It wasn't to let MLS teams and CONCACAF teams do better. They barely used it anyway. Or if they did use it, they don't even play the guy, Monterrey. You know, I think it was a absolute scheme. It was an absolute scheme, just like them saying no. They wanted to protect the tournament and its viewership, especially for the first one. But now that Cristiano ain't playing or won't be playing for these next 4 years, they might allow it anyway. And he didn't play at the Club World Cup, they might allow it anyway. So we all know why Saudi wanted to join UEFA, so Cristiano could play UEFA. Yep, but they killed it so the Club World Cup could get viewership. So it's all a big game. Only LAFC used the window for Javiro. 65th minute, 1-0. That was a waste of time. Javiro. Like, that's not... Okay. No, Monterrey did, though. That's how they got Melee, right? And then they don't play him at all. And then they don't play him at all. Well, of course he's getting paid out the ass by Saudi. What'd you expect? '66th minute. I mean, you pretty much have... This pretty much is it. If we're... I mean, 66th minute. I mean, this pretty much is. Sort of. And the reviews are pretty much... It pretty much is, though. I mean, what's the difference? At this point, what's the difference? At this point, what's the difference? I'm not Howard Stern. I'm not Howard Stern. I love Howard, or at least, well, I don't. I love Howard's old content. I still listen to his show, but it's not the same. But I'm not Howard Stern. I'm not Howard Stern. Interesting. Okay, so him playing at the Club World Cup didn't hurt anything. Okay. 67th minute. '68th minute. Cross in. Header. (1-0). It's happened a couple of times. I don't remember the first time. All these streams run into each other at this point. I don't remember. 68th minute. I don't remember. 69th minute. Didn't Yeezus have... It might have been Yeezus, yeah. I think he did have a messy profile picture for a while. It might have been Pessy, but either way. Yeah. I think he did, yeah. 69th minute. 69th minute, 1-0. Al-Hilal's done enough, and they're honestly just don't want to embarrass Pachuca at this point. Because what's the point? Al-Hilal's won their game, and Real Madrid's up 2-0, so there's no way Salzburg ties. There's no way Red Bull Salzburg ties unless... And got any ideas, Christian Horner? Got any ideas, Max Verstappen? Do you have any ideas? Do you have any ideas? Red Bull Salzburg be like, where's Michael Massey when you need him? Where's Michael Massey when you need him? What? I hope that's true. Yes! Yes! That's exactly what we need. Yes! Goodbye, Robert Sanchez. Goodbye. Goodbye. Would be a good signing. Yes, look. Hold on. Chelsea make approach to sign Emi Martinez from Aston Villa. Chelsea wants Emi Martinez, their starting goalkeeper. Yeah, I'm here for it. Let's do the reverse Petr Cech. Come on, do the reverse Petr Cech. I'm here for it. Come on. Emi Martinez to Chelsea. Yeah. You know what? I'm sad nobody got the Michael... Where's Michael Massey when you need him joke. I'm sad nobody got that. I'm disappointed. Because he basically... Nah, Petrovic is good. He could be the backup to Emi. Robert Sanchez can get the hell out. I laughed out loud. About what? That's not right. No, that's not right. That was so not right. For once, Chelsea's going for a reliable goalie. No more buying prospects. I wish they would do that around the... I like Petrovic more. I like Jorgensen better than Sanchez, but I like Petrovic more. I want Petrovic to be the backup, Emi Martinez to be the starter. And then if Petrovic stays as the backup and stays until Emi leaves, then we're good. But comparatively. And I know nothing about this Penders guy. Yeah, I know nothing about him. So... Well, first of all, you need a safety car. Second of all, Kepa, Slanina, Petrovic were prospects, but Chelsea needed a reliable goalie when they needed. Y'all don't want Garnacho. I wouldn't mind having Garnacho. Like, I like him. Like, I like Garnacho. I'd love to have him on Chelsea. I think Garnacho's a talented player. I think he's awesome. I have no problem with him. I'd gladly, I'd take him. Hell, are you serious? I think he's talented. Man United just suck. I think he's talented. I think he's still got a good ceiling, a good, somewhat high ceiling. Can't be worse than Sancho. Can't be worse than Noni. He's probably better than Mudryk. Garnacho or Noni? Garnacho. Yeah. Where's Nkunku going? Man United was rumored for him for a while there. I don't know where that went. I saw a United rumor. So I think United or Arsenal, weirdly enough. I've heard a couple of rumors of that, which should be funny if they pulled a Kai Havertz with him as well. And Nkunku definitely, since Chelsea pissed him off, I could see him going to a rival. For sure. Seems like that type of guy. It's like, oh, you pissed me off. I want to go to a rival. Probably Chelsea, I think. Chelsea is more likely in my book, even though they got the lap. Again, that's kind of like the get rid of Jackson, get rid of Sanchez situation. Jackson should be gone. Delap, if he wins the job over Hugo, fine. If Hugo wins the job, Delap's the backup. But they compete for the job. Jackson should be gone. 76th minute. Aldusri's off for Kano. 1-0, 1-0. Eze's a good player, unless you're saying it's bad for him. I think Eze's a good player. I think Eze's a good player. Unless you're saying it's bad for him going to Arsenal because Arsenal's a joke. You know, if that's what you're saying, then fine. But if that's what you're saying, then fine. But Eze's a good player. And also, he's going to play a bit. Saka's going to get hurt. He's already going to Bayern. Or he follows Elise, which, well, or you talk about Wolff made. Yep. He's about to pull a Trent. But I say sign the guy. You're going to win more Prems with him than Virgil. And that's no disrespect to Virgil, but Virgil's older. Like, he'll win a couple more Premier Leagues if things go right. He already has 2. But Konate, he has a longer time to win things. Or be the reason they win things. You know, I mean. Okay, we're talking about, yeah. I do too, but Foley's an idiot. Everybody does. Everybody has 2 or 3 bozo moments a season. What makes you world class is if you don't have any more. Like, everybody makes mistakes. 78th minute. Everybody makes mistakes. You wanted to win and not make money. Yeah. Let's not get started on all that again. Let's not go back down that rabbit hole. You know, let's leave that alone. We already talked enough about Russia tonight. Let's leave that alone. Let's not go back down that rabbit hole. Yeah. I prefer, well, but I guess he don't want to be a backup, so he basically will probably replace Ibrahima Konate. So we'll see. Maybe he is better. Well, he's a generational talent. See, the difference is Virgil's a generational talent. Like, there is nobody. Like, let's not forget, there was a year where he was not dribbled past. Like, the dude is generational. Like, there ain't nobody like Virgil. There ain't nobody like him. There will be nobody like him until I'm in my 70s at the very least. More likely, there won't be anybody like him until I'm dead. And well, the good news for me is I got to see him when I was getting out of high school and now into my young adulthood. So, you know, maybe I'll have a chance to see the next guy who's just like him. But there's a lot of people who they'll never see a guy like him again at that position. He is generational. He's not just world class. He's generational. There's a difference. He's a difference. There's a difference. Yeah. Cross, that's out for a goal kick. 80th minute. I think there's a difference. Like, Virgil is generational. He's not just world class. I mean, he is world class because he's playing right now. The guy's generational. We're very, depending on how old you are, it may be less and less likely you see a guy at center back like Virgil again. So, we'll see, but to me, Virgil's a generational talent. He's not just world class, he's generational. That's why he's only had 2 or 3 bozo moments his whole career. And even when he tore his ACL, he still got back to the Virgil we know. That 2019-2020 Virgil. So, you know, John Terry as well. I love John Terry, but world class, sure. Generational, to a lesser degree. I love John Terry. Like, if I had a best 11, like, all time, or at least of my lifetime, I would say John Terry and Virgil would be the center backs for sure. I still think Virgil's the better of the two, and I love John Terry. I just think maybe that's the way the game's changed. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, if all time, I'd still probably stick with it. But at least in my lifetime, yeah, no, Virgil and John Terry. All time, I might stick with it. Well, no. All time, it would be Maldini and Virgil. All time, it would be Maldini and Virgil. But of my lifetime, Virgil and John Terry. I love John Terry. I think he's an amazing player. He's no Virgil. Hell, he's no Maldini for that matter. Like, no. My lifetime, John Terry, Virgil. All time, Maldini, Virgil. Back two, or center backs, in my opinion. Playing forward, Al-Hilal, shot, chip, Bowerman clear. Not enough power. Should have just shot it. 1-0. Yep. Those were the days. Those were the days. And it's funny because if you heard Patrice Evra talk about Chelsea and all the Premier League rivals, Man United only respected Chelsea. Like, they only respected them. Because Patrice Evra was like, Tottenham is Tottenham. Liverpool are the noisy neighbors. But when you beat Chelsea, Arsenal, or whatever he said. Chelsea is when you know you're real champions. You beat Chelsea, you know you're real champions. They had respect for that Chelsea squad. Man United. Sir Alex's Man United had respect for that Chelsea squad. They did not respect Arsenal. They didn't respect Tottenham. They didn't respect Liverpool, but they sure as hell respected that Chelsea squad. Yeah, I miss those days. And they don't anymore. Just like everything else, wide. Makelele. Awesome. What I wouldn't give, like, let me tell you, if I could watch a midfield with Makelele in his prime, with Conte next to him, oh my God. I would give my legs to watch that. Dude, if I could watch a game where Makalele's on the pitch in his prime with Conte in his prime next to him, God, like that. Oh my Lord, that would be a moment. That would be something. Cannavaro was a Cannavaro legend. Maldini, Baresi, Cannavaro, Chiellini, Bonucci, Nesta. Yep. And now they can't have good defenders anymore. Look at us now. Well, okay, no, they have Calafiori. They do have Calafiori. That man does have the aura. But when the rest of the team sucks ass, yep. Goal for... No, it went behind the net. 1-0. Yeah, that would have been awesome midfield. Hamad coming on. Hold on, let me look that up. Now I want to look this up. Hold on. No, I'm not. No. Shorter. A bit shorter. I agree. That Chelsea team was the best Prem team of all time. I don't care if you... 15 goals against is impossible nowadays. It was almost impossible back then. It's impossible nowadays. And didn't Chelsea win more games that year than the Invincibles did? Didn't they? I think they did. Forget about... So they lost a game. So they lost a couple. 15 goals against and winning more than the Invincibles? That sounds better to me. Nah, Chelsea. 2005 Chelsea still better. Still better. Yeah. Don't make me laugh. Retegui? Good is stretching it. My ass. Retegui? Que schifo. Che cazzo? Ma vaffanculo. Ah, Maron. No. No. Yeah, he does, but... Yeah, he's good at his club. He's a good club player. I haven't really seen it on the national team. That's the problem. Good Serie A player, yes. Scores a lot of goals at Serie A, yes. Has he really performed for the national team when it matters? No. That's what matters. Like, sure, awesome. You're amazing in the league. Cool. Go to Napoli then, I guess. I'm talking about national team players. Tonali is pretty good national team-wise. I'm not talking about their league performance. I'm talking about the Azzurri performance. That's what matters. Unless they play for Napoli. But, you know, I'm talking about their national team performance. That's the crisis. That's the crisis. Like, sure, you could score against Malta, and I'll be like, cool, that's what you're supposed to do. Score against, well, hell, even Norway seems you can't do it. Seems you can't do it. Shot wide. Seems you can't do it. I'm more worried about the national team, so. Yeah, Retegi's a good player. He's a good player. For league play. For league play. National team, when it matters, well, besides Donnarumma, nobody. Tonali, maybe. Chiesa, it's not the same since he's gotten back from injury. I hate to say it, but it's true. I don't know if all of it was the players. Spalletti's an idiot. I want to see them under Gattuso. But under Spalletti, nobody really, except Donnarumma. And Calafiori for like the Euros. And Zaccagni for one game. Nobody really. I want to see how they play under Gattuso. I want to see how they play under Gattuso. Six minutes of stoppage time. See? I've admitted Italy's shit. What do you mean? I've been on Spalletti's ass for months. I've been saying Spalletti's a bozo for months. I'm glad he's gone. The national team has got its problems. I mean, I never not admitted that. Well, okay, I was a bit biased before the Euros started, but Calafiori sucks. Well, he was good during the Euros. Hey, they won the Conference League. Hey, they won the Conference League. Hey, they won the Conference League. Hey, that's a cup final. Hey, that's a cup final. I mean, I do too. I do too. Bowley's an idiot. Bowley is a bozo. He makes... That's why people hate accents like mine when people talk about football. Because they think we're all Todd Bowleys. See, they think we're all Todd Bowleys. I'm not. I know more about football than that guy could ever learn. I do. So, even if my takes are sometimes crazy. But either way, 3 minutes in. I feel like that makes the stereotype real as people like Todd Bowley. So I feel sort of, just looking at his face, I feel sort of attacked, you know? So either way. Yep. They always found a way to win, even when they were disastrous. They always found a way to win something. And then Bowley came in. Hell, the 2 years they won the Champions League, you could argue that they should have never pulled that off. That was a disaster. The Di Matteo year was a disaster. They should have never came back and beat Napoli, and they did. And then they end up winning the damn Champions League. It's a disaster. Tuchel. That year was a disaster until Tuchel took over, and then they won the Champions League. Chaotic. 94th minute, 1-0. It's crazy. Like Chelsea's best teams never won the Champions League. Their most chaotic teams, and for a while disastrous teams, if you could call them that, won the Champions League. Honestly, I believe that 2015 Chelsea team or 2015-16 Chelsea team, if they didn't play PSG, they didn't blow it, they would have won the Champions League just because they were 10th. Like, there was a possibility. Like, I believed for a while that Chelsea team in 15-16 would have won the Champions League because it was so damn disastrous. Trust the process. Playing forward. Rounds the keeper. 2-0. Al-Hilal. Leonardo scores. He gets his. Rounds the keeper. Marcos Leonardo. 2-0. Dos settle. 90 plus 5. Good play. I could see it. I think he has a high ceiling that he still hasn't hit. I think United's just complete ass. I think that's part of the problem. Garnacho still has a ceiling he could hit. I believe that. I believe United was just so toxic last year that that's part of the problem. I don't think it's all him. '95th minute. I still believe in him, that he has some sort of higher ceiling. 95th minute. 90 plus 5. Yep. 2-0 Dos settle. That'll be enough for Al-Hilal to finish second full time. Full time, it is over. 2-0 Dos settle esta noche. Al-Hilal wins and will advance. Question is, the Madrid game is over. Real Madrid 3-0 over Salzburg. So, Real Madrid wins the group. Real Madrid won the group. Al-Hilal second. Salzburg third. Pachuca fourth. Yep. Real Madrid 7 points, Al-Hilal 5 points, Salzburg 4, Pachuca 0. Pachuca is disappointing. Salam Al-Dusri man of the match? Yeah, I believe that. I'll agree with that. With that being said, there you go. I believe that. Spurs fourth is more likely than Man United. Honestly, no. I think top 3, Liverpool, City, and Chelsea, yes. Fourth place, Newcastle. Fifth place, Arsenal. Sixth place, Villa. Seventh place, Spurs. I don't think Spurs will be that high. I think fourth place is going to be Newcastle. Fifth place, Arsenal. The group stage is complete. Yep, of both tournaments. We're done with group stage football. Well, until we get to the Leagues Cup and Central American Cup. But for the big things, we're done with it. But no, I think Newcastle fourth place. Hell. Yeah. Either way, I still don't see Spurs in fourth. Whether it's Villa or Newcastle, I don't see Spurs in fourth. And whoever doesn't make top 4 would finish under Arsenal and above Spurs. So, yeah, City looks serious again. So even if it is Villa, Oh, they did, but they'll gas out. With that being said, if you like this stream, like and share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribe. Send chats on live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you within the hour for the review of this match. And that's it for group stages. All to play for once we get to games again. All to play for. Do or die. Do or die. Well, that's true. I'll let you ask. But do or die. It's do or die. Who's playing who? Here we go. So, Man City will be playing Al-Hilal. Real Madrid plays Juventus. Palmeiras, Botafogo, PSG, Miami. Benfica, Chelsea, Flamengo, Bayern Munich, Milan, Inter Milan, Fluminense, Borussia Dortmund, Monterrey. Then, of course, Man City versus Al-Hilal and Madrid versus Juventus. So, boom. That's what you got there. Nice matchup there. With that being said, that's that. So I'll see you within the hour. We'll have a recap prediction video tomorrow, and more streams this weekend. There you go. I'll see you later. I'm Ron, I'm out. Peace. Congratulations to Real Madrid, Al-Hilal, Felicidades, Madrid, y Al-Hilal. Commiserations to Salzburg and Pachuca. And that's that.